TPCAST, a groundbreaking accessory for the HTC Vive, finally allowing us to play in virtual reality wireless. No more cables, no more tangles, just total freedom and perfect virtual reality immersion. But is this product really ready for a public release? Is it consumer friendly? Does it work? How does it work? And well, is it worth it? Guys, I'm going to tell you all about it. I've been playing with the TPCAST for about 2 weeks now, so I'm going to tell you all the pros, all the cons, what I think of it, and if it's worth to try. So let's start off by talking about the setup and installation process of the TPCAST itself. If you still haven't seen my unboxing and installation video of my TPCAST, I can highly recommend you to watch it. You can find it in the link here above, and I'm going to show you all about it, how you unbox it, how you set it up, how you get it to work with the software, and how you can start it up for the first time and enjoy virtual reality wireless. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the setup process itself. I think it's not so consumer friendly, to be honest. If you're not technically skilled, it's going to take some time. You may get frustrated because you have to attach the receiver on your HTC Vive strap. Either if you have the original strap or the deluxe audio strap, you still have to attach it. You have to fit the cables inside in those small holes, and it can be a little bit tricky, to be honest. So I really hope they can actually change the installation procedure in this upcoming public release of TPCAST, because I think a lot of people may struggle, and a lot of people is gonna go on YouTube and watch some installation videos because it's not that easy as it may look. Also, we have so many different devices here. First of all, we have the receiver on our head. We have the transmitter on the wall, optimally in a corner in your room, pointing at your room scale area. Also, we have a TPCAST router, and that router, well, it works straight out of the box, but still there are two different ways you can connect it, and I'm going to talk about it later. But still, I think that the router itself could be a little bit confusing for new users of the TPCAST itself. I get so many questions about this router, and well, I'm going to explain it a little bit more in detail how you can set it up in two different ways. But I still think, all in all, that the setup process is a little bit too complicated. I wish they could get rid of that router first of all, and maybe make a small USB dongle or something that can transmit that signal, the tracking signal, because the video signal is not transmitted through the router, it's transmitted through the transmitter on the wall itself. So the router is only sending some tracking data, and I think a simple dongle should do it instead of a full router. I don't know. Well, I hope they will change that in the consumer version of the TPCAST. Also, the software installation could be a little bit confusing, actually, at least for now, because there are two versions of the TPCAST software, and it's depending on which TPCAST version you are using. I'm having the first TPCAST version, and I had to, well, manually Google for that version to get it to work with my TPCAST. The default software from the TPCAST website actually didn't work together with my provided router with this first version of the TPCAST, and that's, well, I think that's could be too complicated to people as well to know it. So I really hope that the consumer version is gonna have some kind of one software version and then nothing else, so you can just download it, install it, and just run it, and everything is gonna work. So before we even move on to the TPCAST functionality itself, I would like to talk a little bit about the battery that you're gonna need to power up and run with the TPCAST. This is the big Anchor battery, 22,100 milliampere or 22.1 amps. It's supposed to be running a TPCAST for between 4 and 5 hours straight while playing in virtual reality, but I can just tell you right away that's probably too optimistic, to be honest. I could maximally play for around 4 hours straight before the battery was totally drained out from 100% down to 0%. So take in mind, maximum 4 hours of gameplay on one battery, and that's the large battery actually. On the public release, they're gonna have a smaller anchor battery as well that's supposed to be working for around 2 hours in virtual reality with the HTC Vive. And well, I think that's optimistic numbers as well, so you can probably expect 1.5 hours only. So personally, I would really recommend you to get one of these big batteries. It's an anchor battery. You can find it on eBay, you can find it on Amazon. I'm not sure if one battery is gonna get included in the TPCAST consumer version coming out soon in both United States and Europe, but still, I would recommend you to go for this big battery and probably 2 of these as well, because it takes around 8 hours to charge it from 0 to 100%, and 8 hours, that's quite a long time. And if you have been playing for 4 hours straight, you have your friends at home, you would like to continue, well, I think it's a good idea to have a spare battery, because it's not fun to wait 4 or 8 hours until the battery is fully charged again. So anyway, the battery can be connected, or should be connected, to the TPCAST battery unit or battery holder itself. Just slide it in, just like I showed you in the installation video of the TPCAST. And after that, you can either have it in one of your pockets, in your back pocket, in your front pocket, and well, it works. If you have tight jeans or something, it could probably work. But I would really recommend you to use the included pouch, or this little bag. It's made out of some, well, elastic material. Just put it inside, and you also have a clip for a belt, so you can attach it to a belt, and that's what I'm doing every time, and that's give you a few advantages because you don't feel the heat of the battery itself. I'm going to talk more about the heat itself later on, but I would really recommend you to use this pouch. There's one negative thing about this pouch, to be honest, and that's when you have it attached on a belt, it's gonna be jumping around a little bit. It's not fully stable. If you're moving a lot in a first-person shooter, for example, it's gonna like move quite a lot. It's not gonna fall off because you can actually close it down a little bit and it's gonna be quite sturdy, but still it's could get quite frustrating by having it jumping around at the back of you. So that's a little flaw, I think, but still, having it on your belt is the optimal solution for now, at least. So moving on to the router. Well, TPCAST is provided together with a router, and in my version it's not TPCAST branded, but in the consumer version of the TPCAST I'm sure they're gonna brand it with a TPCAST logo itself. Anyway, it's a regular router actually, it's a Wi-Fi router, it's a 100/100 megabit router only, so it's not a gigabit router, and it's supposed to send the tracking data wirelessly, the tracking data from the headset itself and the controllers, of course, because the Vive controllers are dependent on your headset. So all tracking data is going through your headset and then wireless through the Wi-Fi into the router and then into your PC. So, well, there are two ways of connecting the router into your PC. You have to use a Ethernet cable, of course, an internet cable. And in the installation manual, they're actually showing you to connect it between your home router and your PC. So you take basically your internet cable, put it inside of the router, and then from the router you take another cable and put it inside of your computer. But how does that work then? Well, it works right away, of course. The internet was working flawlessly, of course, but it's still limiting your internet connection. So if you have like 250 megabit down speed, just like I have at home, you're gonna get limited to 100 megabit, both up and down. And that's quite sad. But fortunately, we can connect the router to a second Ethernet port on your PC. If you have a second network card, maybe if you buy a separate one, or if your motherboard is having two Ethernet ports, you can actually connect the router itself with a separate cable just to your second Ethernet port. It's gonna work just fine, and you're not dependent of the speed of the router itself. Your internet is going directly into your computer just like before, so it's not limiting anything. And that's how I use my TPCAST actually. I didn't realize that when I made that installation video of the TPCAST, but now, well, about 2 days later, I realized I could actually just connect it straight away, and it just works flawlessly. So I would really recommend you to connect it to a second Ethernet port or a second network card in your PC. If you don't have that, you can probably buy a very cheap 100 megabit network card, a PCI Express card, and just put it inside of your computer into an empty slot and connect it, and it's gonna work perfect. So far, I have not encountered any problems with the router itself, to be honest. It has never crashed, it has never rebooted or never worked. It just works, it just is there. I never turn it off actually. It's always on. I don't know if it's sending any data while the TPCAST or the HTC Vive it's not used, but I still have it on all the time, and every time I turn on the TPCAST itself, well, it just works. So no problems whatsoever with the router. And actually, you don't have to do anything with the router itself. When you connect it for the first time, it's just working right away. You don't have to do any settings in the admin panel. There is actually an admin panel, but you don't have to go in there and change anything because everything is fixed from the start with the latest version, and also all the configuration for the TPCAST itself. The transmitter unit that I have attached about 2.2 meters up in one of my corners over there in my room. Well, it's always on as well. It works great. I have no issues whatsoever. Once the software could not find it, to be honest, so I had to unplug the power cable, connect it back, and then it worked again. I don't know, maybe it was just on for too long. I was not playing games for 2 days, and then I tried to start up the TPCAST and it didn't work. But well, I just take out the cable, put it back, and it worked. So the last thing before we move on is the build quality of the TPCAST itself. And well, of course, the router is just a router. It looks like any Asus router or whatever. Well, it's shiny, it looks good. Also, the transmitter on the wall is just a small flat device, should be pointed right at you, and well, it just does its work, and I don't actually care about the build quality, but it looks quite good anyway. It looks like a high quality product. But the transmitter itself, well, I cannot tell you that it's great looking, but it's actually fitting on the Deluxe Audio Strap very well. I think it matches it in color, of course. It really looks like a device made for the HTC Vive, and that's quite important. Even though I don't like those cables, I think the cables are a little bit too long. I wish they were a little bit more tight, so I didn't have to have them, well, pointing out like this. But still, if I'm talking about the design, I think it still looks pretty polished and quite clean. I mean, considering there are so many cables here, it still looks quite okay. I used some small straps to attach to make it a little bit more cleaner so the cables are not moving too much. Also, I'm using the Vive and Chill, and I can just tell you that it works perfectly with the Vive and Chill itself. No problems whatsoever having those cables beneath the TPCAST cables. They all fit, and the Vive and Chill unit itself actually works great while using the TPCAST. So you can turn it on anytime, having those fans well, giving you some airflow, cooling you down, and you can play. I'm not sure how much it actually drains the battery having the Vive and Chill on, but the main part here is that it actually works. I get still full signal on the TPCAST itself. I can still play games without any signal loss, without any quality difference, and I can have those fans on. I would probably guess that it could shorten your battery life for about maybe 20 minutes if you have it straight on all the time. I usually turn on the Vive and Chill fans now and then. I have them on for like 1-2 minutes, then I turn them off again because it gets quite hot in my forehead after a while. Anyway, enough about the Vive and Chill itself. Let's talk about the TPCAST image quality and signal quality itself. During my 2 weeks that I've been using the TPCAST, I can tell you honestly, it has been working flawlessly. I haven't got any signal loss at all. I haven't had any issues with the TPCAST either. It has been not crashing, it's been working all the time, and it just makes the job done as promised, to be honest. The quality is 100% quality of what you will see while doing the HTC Vive with the wires actually. There's no difference at all in the picture quality, so don't even think about any quality difference. There has been some reports online that people think that the quality is reduced just because of the wireless transmitting of the signal, but I can assure you guys, it looks exactly as the original signal is looking when you have HTC Vive with those cords all the way to your computer. And well, I cannot see any difference at all. The super sampling is working perfectly because, well, even though you put super sampling to 2.5, maybe 3, it's gonna still be a fixed signal from the computer to your HTC Vive. It's getting rendered and processed in the computer itself, but the output signal is still the same and the amount of bandwidth is still the same. So it really doesn't matter that the picture is much sharper, but it's still the same signal. So you're not gonna get any signal loss or some kind of reach the bandwidth limit by using super sampling, because super sampling is working fine. So just forget about anything else. I know a lot of you have been talking about issues, maybe some issues with the super sampling while doing it wirelessly, but that's not an issue, I can assure you that. So the picture quality is just awesome. There is no lag whatsoever. There is no delay, nothing at all. As far as my eyes can see, I cannot see any difference whatsoever between having the TPCAST or just playing regular HTC Vive with the cords. Guys, this is quite amazing, to be honest. I was not expecting this to work so well. And during my first installation video, I was trying to cover up the TPCAST itself with my hands, and of course I got some signal loss a few times. And the signal loss actually looks like compression artifacts. It looks like the compression gets higher or the bandwidth is lower. It's just like you lower the quality on a YouTube video, it just gets more blocky and that's the only signal loss you see. But that's only when you cover it with 1 or 2 hands. And why would you ever do that? This is not an issue, guys. You never have to cover your head. Your unit with your hands. You never do that. Even though you play games where you climb or something, you never cover it fully, because the signal loss is only appearing when you're covering it totally with your hand like this. So while playing, I have not had any issues. To be honest, I mean, well, if my transmitter is over there on the wall and I'm standing in this corner over here, and if I would do some like crazy stuff in onward, you know, like crouching down on the floor, I mean, some people actually do that. And if you have your head bent down to that corner, I think you may get some signal loss in the end, because of course it's gonna get your head between the transmitter and the receiver. But seriously guys, how often do you really do that? And do you really need to do that? I mean, how often do we need to bend down all the way and hide your whole head? It's not gonna happen much, so don't be afraid of that, because, well, it may happen once maybe. It's gonna take a while until you actually find a signal loss while playing with the TPCAST itself. Another thing I've been mentioning before is the noise from the transmitter itself on the wall, and that noise is a high pitch or a high frequency noise, very similar to the HTC Vive lighthouse noise that I have up here, but the noise is quite louder. It's much more noticeable and you will hear it. So if you're not using any headphones or in-ear buds or something, you will probably hear it all the time, and it could be quite distracting. I can still hear it sometimes when it's very quiet in the game and I'm using the Deluxe Audio Strap headphones. I can still hear it a little bit. It's a very strange sound. It's very hard to actually show it how it sounds, but it's a high-pitched sound, and I really hope that the consumer version of the TPCAST is not going to have this problem anymore. Either way, they kind of change the transmitter unit in some way. Maybe they change the frequency, or maybe they do it at least more quiet, because that actually is the first issue with the TPCAST that I know. Another issue is the microphone. So far, I have not got it to work. The built-in HTC Vive microphone is not working at all. It's not found even in Windows while using the TPCAST on my HTC Vive. And people say that's because of some software issue, that it's gonna get fixed, and I really hope so, because this could be a game changer for a lot of people. Some people don't use external microphones. They just want to use that simple microphone that is built into the headset itself. I mean, especially when you play online games. I'm not even talking about recording your videos or gameplays. I mean, when you play online in Rec Room or whatever, you just want to chat with people, and that's not possible unless you have an external microphone. But hopefully that's gonna get fixed, at least in the consumer version. Maybe this version that I have maybe will never get it. Not any big issue for me, to be honest. I have external headphones if I need them with microphone, but still, I really hope that the consumer version is gonna have some kind of microphone solution or full microphone support. Another thing that people have been mentioning and asking me a lot is the weight of the unit. Or is it comfortable? Can you feel the weight of the TPCAST? And well, I can tell you guys, no, I don't feel any difference whatsoever. I'm honest now, guys. This little unit, this little receiver weighs about 84 or 86 grams. I never remember if it's 84 or 86. Anyway, it's not even 100 grams. The cables are actually lighter. You don't get that force of the cables going all the way down to the floor, so it actually feels a little bit lighter with that TPCAST on compared to having those HTC Vive cables down to your floor. So weight is not an issue at all, at least not for me. Well, about the comfort then, well, I think the comfort is nice. I can really not feel that I have the TPCAST on my head. It's above the Deluxe Audio Strap, because I'm using the Deluxe Audio Strap from the beginning. I have not tested the TPCAST with the original strap provided with the HTC Vive, but with the Deluxe Audio Strap, because it is quite sturdy up here, it holds it up well, and I can really not feel it at all while wearing it. And I cannot feel the heat as well either, because most of the heat of the TPCAST unit or the receiver itself is on the top. It's not at below here. It's actually fully cold right now, but I can feel a little bit of heat is actually connected right now. So it is running, even though Steam VR is not running right now, but it's still running. It's still synced to the transmitter on the wall. So it's got hot up here, but it's totally cold down here, and I cannot tell you that it changes the comfort at all while wearing it on the HTC Vive. So how about in games? Guys, well, this is total freedom. I'm gonna be honest with you. Doing virtual reality wireless is kind of a revolution. It was at least a revolution for me. It was something groundbreaking. It's a game changer because you don't expect it to be especially groundbreaking, but it actually is. The total freedom of just moving around, turning around as many times as you want. You don't have the cable to think about. You cannot tangle anything. You can actually put this cable inside of your t-shirt or wherever you're wearing, just like I did in my last TPCAST gameplay videos. And it's total freedom, guys. It's so much different. It adds so much to the immersion. You totally forget that you're standing in your room because you don't have that cable anymore to think about. And oftenly I find myself moving a lot more in my little game space area here now because I lose the orientation inside of here. Before, when I did all my gameplay videos with that cord behind me, I could always feel it. I had it always in my mind. Even though I was totally immersed in the game, I still had that cord in my head that it's there, and I could somehow orientate myself where I was in the room, and somehow I just could step on it and was like, okay, there is the cable. Okay, I'm not gonna go 2 more steps to the right because then I end up on the sofa. But now the freedom makes it a little bit more tricky to actually play because you totally lose your orientation and you're just like walking around, totally forgetting about that you actually are standing in a small room scale area, just like I am. My room scale area is so small. It's just like 2.7 meters times 2 meters, so around there, and that's not much, especially in games where you move a lot or games where you box, where you fight or so. But still, this is freedom that you really want in virtual reality. And if you haven't tried it once, well, you really have to. But the problem is, once you try wireless virtual reality, you never want to go back. And that's my big problem right now, because I have an Oculus Rift as well, and that has its cord, of course. There is no TPCAST solution for Oculus Rift yet, but I'm actually struggling more than ever with the Oculus Rift cable now, because I'm getting a little bit used to the wireless virtual reality now. So I'm getting quite spoiled now, to be honest, after just 2 weeks. So guys, this is quite groundbreaking. So, well, to answer my own question, is it working? Yes. Is it working like promised? Yes. Is it consumer ready? Well, I don't know, both yes and no, okay? The installation process is a little bit tricky. It could be a hassle for some of you. I think that router is totally unnecessary. You could probably do all the transmitting of the tracking data with some kind of USB dongle. That should be enough, I think. So, well, it's maybe not a product that you just plug and play, because I wish there was some kind of product like a TPCAST version with just 2 units, a transmitter and a receiver, and you just plug it into your computer and you put it up on your HTC Vive and it just works. But it doesn't. It takes some time actually. So, well, also you have a software that you always need to run before you even start off playing in virtual reality, before you even start up the Steam VR. Well, actually you can start up the Steam VR, but then you have to start up the TPCAST software itself, and it takes maybe 25, almost 30 seconds to start up the TPCAST unit itself. First, it's looking for the router itself, then it's looking for the link box or the connection between the power box and the router in some way, and then it's loading up some system stuff, and then it's finally getting blue, and all of those stuff are getting blue, and then you can just minimize that software and then you can start up Steam VR. And well, that's maybe not optimal. I just wish that could be made in the background when I'm starting up Steam VR, and hopefully that's gonna get fixed in the consumer version. But for now, it's one extra software. I don't know if it takes up any resources. I probably don't think so. I haven't noticed any difference. I mean, it's not killing my frame rate and so while playing, But still, another software just to start off the TPCAST, it's quite unnecessary, I think. And I hope they're gonna change that, somehow get it built into the Steam VR itself. So if I would summarize all the flaws with the TPCAST, well, maybe they're not flaws, maybe they're not issues, but still some things that you may consider before we go into wireless virtual reality. Well, first of all, it's the noise from the transmitter. It's quite annoying, but hopefully you can manage it and hopefully that's going to be fixed. Another thing that I actually haven't even mentioned is that, well, you have the TPCAST and you have that cable to the battery itself. And the problem is, well, before I had the wireless virtual reality with the TPCAST, I could just put on the headset on my head and it just, well, it went quite fast, especially for me when I'm doing all those videos on my channel. Well, I take it on and off quite often, especially in mixed reality as well. But now, you know, if I want to take it off and just go into the computer, I have to either hold it in my hand or take out the battery from my little pouch, put it on the ground and then move into my computer. So it's a step further. And also, if you have it in your back pocket, if you have the battery in your back pocket, you have to first take off your headset and then take out the battery from your back pocket, put it on the ground. And the same goes when you put on your headset again. Well, it's a little bit, it's one more effort. It's a little bit more effort every time you put it on and off, especially if you're gonna play with your friends, when you're gonna switch the headset between each other. It's a little bit more tricky, to be honest. The microphone issue is there. I mean, you cannot use the microphone for now, but still, I think that's gonna be fixed in the consumer version of the TPCAST. I really hope so, at least, because I think that's very, very important. And talking about the sound itself, well, guys, I'm using the Deluxe Audio Strap with the built-in headphones now, and I can actually spot a difference. I can hear a difference in the sound quality, to be honest. I think there is some kind of compression in the sound while doing it wirelessly. I don't know if that's also a software issue, if that's gonna get fixed in the public or the consumer version of the TPCAST, but for now you get a little bit more quieter sound and also more compressed sound. I'm not an audiophile, you know, I'm not an audio guy. I'm not that into audio, you know me, but still I can clearly hear the difference. So be prepared for that. The sound quality may not be perfect. It's not going to be an issue while playing games, but if you're going to listen to music, if you hear some music in the games, it may sound a little bit more compressed. But that's all actually, guys. I don't find any other flaws or issues with the TPCAST so far, at least after 2 weeks of using it. So I think all of these small issues could be fixed and probably will be fixed with the consumer version that's gonna be out soon, because, well, it has been approved now in both the United States and European Union. It's been approved, I think, yesterday, so it got those FCC and EC stamps, or CE stamp it is in Europe actually. Well, there are two different stamps, one for Europe and one for America, and both have been approved now, so we can probably expect a release of the TPCAST worldwide very, very soon. All in all, guys, this is my first thoughts after 2 weeks using the TPCAST with the HTC Vive. I can tell you I'm very happy with this unit. I'm very happy with the signal quality, with the image quality, with the perfect tracking. It all works. So as long as you get everything to work, it's gonna work. And as long as you have at least 2 of these battery, you'll be fine. You can play in virtual reality all day. You can always have one battery charging while you're playing with the other one, and you could probably maybe play for maybe like 10 hours straight before one battery ends up, and you take another one, then you put it on charge, and yeah, you know what I mean. Having just one battery, it's gonna limit you, and that's could be quite frustrating to wait if you want to play, if you're in the middle of, let's say, Fallout 4 in VR that's coming in this fall. I mean, you will gonna spend hundreds of hours in that game, and some of you may probably play it for like 12, 15 hours straight. So be sure to get as many of these batteries as possible. At some point, maybe I will actually get a third battery just to be sure, so I can actually play with the TPCAST and the HTC Vive, well, a full day if I would like to. So, well, the question remains, guys, should you buy it or not? I cannot really answer that to you guys. I think if you are curious about wireless virtual reality, if you want it now and it's gonna be out soon, well, get it and you're gonna love it. I mean, it just works just like expected. If you want a simpler solution, a simpler setup, I think there is an Intel solution coming up next year with some kind of wireless transmitting of the virtual reality. Hopefully it's gonna be supporting both HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, maybe also the upcoming LG headset coming up next year. So, well, it could be a good idea to wait. Personally, I could not wait. I just had to get this TPCAST. I was so curious about it. And well, after 2 weeks of use, I can tell you that it really gives me something more in virtual reality, and I would not want to go back to those HTC Vive cords again, because they were quite frustrating. So, well, decide for yourself. Well, the Chinese price is about $300, I think. I'm not sure about how much it's gonna cost when it's out in the US and the European Union, but I would probably guess around 300, 350 bucks. In Europe, everything is more expensive, so maybe up to 400 bucks. But still, if you want virtual reality wireless, this is the only solution. So, guys, hopefully you will be able to get it soon, and hopefully you will enjoy it as much as I do. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was my little short review and my thoughts about the TPCAST itself. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not that good at making reviews, but I tried to give you my thoughts at least, so you get something to consider before you actually order this unit when it gets, well, available soon. And guys, lastly, we're gonna jump into the giveaway that we made a couple of days ago. I have 5 Steam keys for the Racket Fury table tennis game. So let's jump in front of my computer and we're gonna select randomly the 5 winners. Let's go. Guys, let's jump into YouTube. I'm gonna refresh the page just like always, just to be sure that everyone is included. And we are gonna pick the winners. So we're gonna choose among the commenters under the Racket Fury post. As always, there are 117 comments. That's quite a lot, actually. I have not been replying to your comments. I'm sorry for that. I will do that this week, and I've been so busy with work. This is my first day off work, actually. So guys, let's jump into it and pick the first winner. First winner is, come on, come on, come on. Come on, oh man, it's working. Nicky H. Multiplayer and nice physics. Just what I'm after. Take care, dude. Congratulations, Nicky. You are a Swedish guy as well, so gratis, mannen. Well, I hope you're gonna enjoy the game. It's lovely. And well, let's go with the second winner. Come on, guys. Come on, this is exciting. I love it. Paper Nut. Good stuff. Glad to see TPCAST in action. Oh well. TPCAST is great. Hope you saw just this video that I'm recording right now. And well, hope you're gonna enjoy Racket Fury. It's a lovely game. Congrats, man. Let's go. 3 more winners to go. Come on, come on, come on. James Mercury. Oh man, you're one of my favorites, you know that. Hey James, I have not replied to your comment even, sorry for that. Very cool this video. I was missing mixed reality, great return. Without a doubt, the game seems to be a lot of fun and the physics seems to be great. I found perfect the distance of the zoom. I think it does not need to change. Well, the zoom about in the mixed reality capture, he mean. I know very well the time and patience that mixed reality requires, but do not stop with these videos. because I think it was the mixed reality that leveraged your channel. Anyway, worth playing with a guarantee of good videos in mixed reality. Thank you so much, man. No, I will probably never stop with those mixed reality videos. They're so funny to make. They take a lot of time, yes, indeed. So I have been skipping a lot of mixed reality lately, but I will continue, and there's gonna be much more, hopefully. As long as there is support in games, I will do that, and soon we're gonna have Unreal Engine mixed reality support as well. I've been talking to one developer about that. So, well, there's gonna be more. James, huge congratulations. Hope you're gonna enjoy Racket Fury. I hope you can spend some time together playing it one day. Cheers, man. Let's go and pick 2 more winners. Come on. Wookie. User interface that looks great. Especially the colors are something different from the table tennis game. Yeah, they are quite different. This game is quite different compared to other table tennis games. It's more futuristic, it's more stylish, and I love that. I love the graphics in this game. But graphic is not everything. The physics are awesome. So I really hope you're gonna enjoy this game, man. Wookie, congratulations. Let's pick the last winner. Come on, I'm trying to hurry up because this video is way too long already. Come on. Last winner is R3Devil or R3Devil. Great video, fingers crossed. Well, congratulations, man. Thank you so much. Also, hope you're gonna enjoy the game. So guys, congratulations to you all, and let's jump back to the studio and have a little last shot. Cheers, guys. So guys, congratulations of winning a free copy of the Racket Fury, and that's all thanks to the developers 10 Ant Hills. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. This game is awesome. Personally, I think this is the best table tennis game in virtual reality. So if you didn't want this time, I can really recommend you to try it out. You're gonna love it. The physics, the graphics, and also multiplayer. So guys, thank you so much again for watching. Have a lovely weekend now. See you hopefully on Sunday again. I'm taking one day off tomorrow. Cheers, guys.